Hey, what's up guys? This is Rafa with Rafa Racing. We are here at Indigo Lamborghini to actually take a look at the McLaren 720S GT3X that finally arrived. Originally the target date was like May, June of this year, and it just arrived at the dealership yesterday. So they're doing the pre-inspection. Eventually going to move it to McLaren. I think we're going to pick it up tomorrow from the McLaren dealership here just next door. But really excited to go take a look at the car. It's an absolute track beast. You know, I actually went to the factory back in August to take a look at it. So really excited to go inside and take a look at the guy. Finally here. All right, so we're here finally in front of the car. The car looks absolutely incredible. I love the color of the paint. It has this metallic, but almost like a satin finish to a cream color. So it's not really that satin white that I'm used to. It's a little different satin. It has this little, I describe it as like melting ice cream. This little real smooth, watery, like very liquidy paint color tone to it with a little shimmer in it. I'm not sure the camera can really capture it, but the livery on it, just nice touches of the McLaren orange. So I took the pattern of the livery. They originally had the X on the side of the car. I actually didn't like it, so I had them put the X on the roof, and then we can put our own logos and the club logos and stuff and the numbers on the door. It has some minor pinstriping, carbon on the exterior, and the inside of the car is just absolutely raw. The seats, the way that you sit in this particular car, like a GT3 car, your feet are actually kind of in line with your hips. The steering wheel obviously has all the technology on it with switches and buttons to be able to control a lot of things, up to the crew. You can change and adjust the ABS. You can do the traction control. So you have obviously a lot more technology in this than in the GT4 car. About 750 horsepower. It actually has a push to pass button. The yellow button here is a push to pass. It gives it 35 horsepower on the straight. The error on the body, it's so crazy. Big old adjustable wing in the back. Like, I actually just cannot wait to drive this car. I rode in it a year ago, just over a year ago, and the raw feel to the car is completely different than the GT4. I know one of the factory drivers actually did a 206 or was doing 206s at Coda, so that's how much quicker this car is. It's going to take me a while to catch up to it. It's going to take a lot of practice and comfort and really just getting used to the speed. That's 15, potentially 10 seconds faster than I've gone at Coda, as fast as I've already been going. So absolutely insane with the doors open, wide body, big old wing, and just an absolutely absurd, insane looking diffuser. GT3X is actually a special project that Motorsports did. It's 15 cars total in the world. This is one of 15, and it's chassis number 12. And we have chassis number 13 sitting next to it. McLaren Houston actually owns this car. I'm not sure they're going to use it for customer experiences to resell it, but you're sitting in front of essentially 2 of 15 in the world of these incredible machines that McLaren built. You hold your breath. Boom! You made it. Steering wheel on. Snap that thing in. Oh, there it is. The battery's not plugged in. They're still doing the delivery inspection. The car just arrived to the dealership here. Cool thing about, again, of the sitting position is your feet are hip high, so you sit very upright. The pedals actually slide back and forth, so the seat is actually not mobile. Same as my GT4. The only difference with the GT4 is that the pedals don't move. All the different options here that the GT4s don't come, so it's a lot more advanced. I can't wait to get behind the wheel on the track. I only got to ride along as a passenger last time, and that was an insane experience, and it sort of convinced me to go ahead and buy it. With this car being one of 15 is one of those things that I had to be part of and had to buy. So pretty much everything for the car for now. I think once we turn it on and get to play with it, we'll have the ability to kind of explain more about what the car is about, and then we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about and show you guys then. finally have it here at the club. We've had it for a handful of weeks. Travis has had it pretty much broken apart. When they actually shipped the car from the UK, they actually disassembled several parts and components of the car. It takes several days to basically put back together, test, and make sure it's all good to go. So now the car is pretty much ready to be fired up and taken to the track. For the time being, I just kind of want to give you guys a highlight and kind of, you know, go through the car and even for myself, see some things that I may have not already seen. We're here in the warehouse of what's going to actually be part of the club. We'll be storing over 100 cars in this space. And this is where I have the majority of my collection. We actually have some members and clients' cars that we're storing here temporarily. But we have the McLarens, the Porsches, my first, you know, kind of supercar, or I guess luxury car, the Bentley back there, lineup of McLarens. We have the Venom here just hanging out, the Senna, SVJ, some trucks. We have another space under construction right now where I'm actually going to keep my collection. But again, today's focus is going to be the 720S GT3X. It's pretty much the fastest race car that McLaren's ever built outside of the F1 program. The difference that this has between the GT3 is that it's essentially unregulated, so it does not have any sort of homologation. Full horsepower, the full output of the 4.0 liter twin turbo, 710 horsepower versus basically the 500 horsepower that the GT3s are limited to. Just over a year ago, I got to drive in the promo one that they had, the black one that they had at Coda when they were in town, and it was an absolutely insane experience. So I know it's going to take me a while to learn to dominate this car and learn to drive it versus the GT4s that I'm used to. But I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully here soon enough we'll have kind of like a private track day at Coda where we'll be able to take some of the clients out, some of the members. From a body standpoint, I think it's very signature McLaren. As I was talking to them about my vision design, I want it to be more like a creamy white, kind of satin white color with the McLaren orange. So we went with the pattern on the roof. I think it looks a lot better here personally. I think it looks absolutely like pretty cool, and it just like marries up the roof versus having something on the side of the car. The wing is absolutely massive. It's an adjustable wing, so you can adjust how much downforce you want to create with it. The diffuser back here, just a big old diffuser, creates so much downforce. Fixed window with, you know, with the sliding window to like be able to communicate and access certain things, but it is fixed, unlike the GT4 cars where the window does open up and down. The car has one way to pump fuel to it instead of two like the GT4s do, so the containers that actually fuel it are able to get the exhaust gases out at the same time that the fuel is going in. And the crazy story about that is the containers, the 5-gallon containers that we usually pump the fuel with, each one for the GT4s is about $700-800, and we use two, one empty, one full. For this one, the one that actually does it all itself costs like $7,000. So it's like insane that each tank to pump is like $7,000. But I guess the technology of it, or you know, it's a GT3 and it's a rare car, so it's one of 15. It was a special project that McLaren did. The interior obviously is going to be extremely raw. I'm gonna go ahead and open it here and show you guys. The roof actually opens up, which is a little bit different than most cars I've seen, which then I think will actually give me a little bit more freedom to put my helmet on in the car. Like in the GT4s, there's no way I can put my helmet on, so I actually struggle with my height and really lack of flexibility to sneak under here. I didn't like to have the second seat. I could have chosen not to have it, but I intend to get coaching. I intend to be able to take people out. The second seat is like a baby seat that almost looks like a car seat. The seat's a little bit smaller than the adult size or extra large seat that I have on my side, but it has the harnesses. It has the net that goes in here that's kind of tucked back here. All of these different things allow you to manipulate your braking, your suspension, your traction control. You're able to change things on the fly as you're driving. It has the ability for you to disperse water. There's a water tank in the back. Then you can communicate with your team. It has the pit button where you basically are limited to how much speed you can carry through the pit and stuff like that. So you can see the fire suspension lines here, which you can't see in a GT4. Full carbon, full race car. It's just an absolute insane machine. I can't wait to get behind the wheel on it. All right, so we asked our techs here. We got Travis and Drew. They're McLaren certified techs that joined us. and they're going to be the ones taking care of this baby here. So they're going to walk us through some of the mechanical parts of the car and opening up some of the hoods. I've never done it, so there it goes. So the whole front end comes off.
You guys would probably be good to touch on what's going on in there, unless Ralph, you know what all that is.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Basically, your entire coolant system. You have a front-mounted radiator. You don't have any on the sides or in the back like the other cars do. These two ducts, that is your air conditioning. So you don't have AC in here like the other cars do. You just have forced air.
Oh, so he actually doesn't have AC.
No.
He just has airflow.
It's airflow, yeah.
Got it. I'm gonna have to get me the cool suit.
Yeah, definitely get a cool suit because that's your only window. Under here, you have 3 reservoirs, 1 for your clutch and 2 for your brakes. You have a separate system, which is your front brakes and your rear brakes. And also inside where you have the brake pedals, you have 2 master cylinders that control your front brakes and your rear brakes. This is your sway bar right here that goes from side to side, and your adjustments are just right here on the end. You have like about, I think, 6 adjustments for the front.
But it's a couple of, just snaps. It is. And again, one of the things that I was mentioning earlier is how easily the car is to take apart. So if you need to get to something that typically on a normal car, it would be very difficult to get to, or it would take you a while to kind of disassemble the car. All this stuff is essentially bolted on that you can just pretty easily take it apart. But I don't know much about the rear here, so I'll let the guys talk about it.
Your engine is still basically the same as your street 720. It's blueprinted, it's completely hand-built, 4-liter, twin turbo, dual scroll. Transmission is a very special transmission. It's an extract transmission. Your alternators ran off your transmission input shaft. One of the first things that a lot of people notice is that the alternator is back here, and it's not on the bottom, on the sides, driven by the engine. It's driven by your transmission, and it has a drive belt. The only McLaren to have a drive belt.
How different is it than like an actual road car from a mechanical standpoint, like just the way everything is set up and works? And
basically, it's your transmission. Okay. Because you have a dry clutch, which is hydraulic, and this is your bleed out for the clutch hydraulics right here.
One of the things that I just learned that the car has is that on the slicks, the actual wheel size and tire size, they're square, so they're the exact same wheel size and tire size in the front and back.
The other cool things about these, and actually other GT3s, including the Senna, is that these bottom panels, they're made of wood. This down here also, it's also wood. The diffuser up under here, the high scrape areas are all wood. Really strong, and they take a lot of abuse, and they're easily replaceable, and it helps whenever I have to repair the car. So
yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I have a whole manual to go through. It's like a booklet of like, I don't know how many pages, 50 pages or something.
About like 180 pages.
Oh, more than that, yeah. So I got a lot of studying to do to really understand and know the car. It looks like the sun came out, so we can put it outside and kind of show it to you guys outside and see if I can figure out how to move the car in a tight space, because it revs so high that it idles out or it stalls out. I mean, pretty easily now that it actually has a clutch. You can't just go into first gear. You have to actually get out of first gear. So we're about to do that now and see what how well we can move this thing. Alright, so that's a wrap on the review, or kind of the overview walkthrough of the car. Absolutely stunning, just the look of it, and obviously it's just a total beast. So can't wait to get it on track. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get a chance to kind of give you guys some feedback and some more insight on what the car actually feels like to actually drive. So as always, thank you for watching. Tell your friends, to your family. See you next time.